Morning, everyone, and welcome to the Maryland Jockey Club at Laurel Park for a Friday edition of Today at the Races. I'm Dan Illman along with Keith Fustel. Spring's officially here. We're outside in our paddock studio. First turf races of the year, 10 race card, huge afternoon of racing.
I hope everybody's tied on for this. This is what it's about. You know, glorious day out here at Laurel Park. The turf, I think they got it cut at about 5 inches. It's in great condition. 5 turf races today, I think 6 tomorrow. We've got the handicapping contest. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Get your bankroll set up. If you don't dive into these races from a monetary standpoint, I don't know what to tell you. You got to get involved in this game.
Full field, competitive betting races, 2 low 12% takeout on the pick 5 wagers. Who can ask for anything more? Well, you can ask for Preakness tickets.
Yes.
You can get them because Preakness 150 tickets are available right now. All you have to do is head on over to Preakness.com. Preakness 150, going to be a happening.
Oh, it's going to be good. Going to look forward to that. The last at what we've known as Old Hilltop. Still going to be Old Hilltop to me, but some changes, some big changes in the future, but get out there for Preakness 150.
Of course, Mother's Day is going to be at Pimlico as well. It is one of the most beloved events of the year. Sunday, May the 11th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Get your tickets and treat Mom to a day at the races at historic Old Pimlico, Pimlico.com, Mother's Day at the races.
Yeah, it's always a special day. As I said repeatedly, I've shared a lot of great moments with Mom back in the day at the races, and she kind of got me into this game, and I thank her for that, and we've had so many great members. So get out there with Mom to Pimlico.
Mother Nature has cooperated as we take a look at our weather conditions for the Friday program. 10 race card. First post is going to be at 12:10. The track is fast and the turf is firm, and it's nice to be able to say that for the first time this year.
Yes, it is. Greened up, looking really good, and our weather forecast moving forward looks very good as well. So please join us out here on the apron. Go see Karen, the pizza lady. Get yourself a bucket. Get out on the apron and enjoy what we've got to offer here at Laurel Park.
Kicking things off with race number 1, going 1 mile on the turf. Very competitive maiden claiming event. 16 down to 12.5. Maryland breds eligible to run for the $20,000 tag. Take out the AEs, the 11 and the 12. It is the first leg of our early value pick 5. Low 12% takeout, 50-cent minimum wager. It is a sensational play, and you have a ticket as well.
Yeah, I've got a pretty minimal ticket. These things, they're going to, to hit it, you're going to have to invest. There's a little framework for you, add amongst, our picks, work with Dan. If we've got something that we really like as well that he may have that I don't want, add that to your ticket. And I know you've got some good opinions as well out there. 2-5, we're going to get you started 2 deep with Caledon and Blind Eye in race 1. 2 deep in race 2 with the 1 and the 5 double arrow. Looking forward to that one's return here to Laurel. Paul is a star. Going to take plenty of play for Thomas Morley. 3 deep in the 3rd. Really tough race, that 40 down to 32. Beaten Claimer on the turf, bigger field. I go 3-6-9. Minari, Southampton Dock, and Princess Buttercup for the hammer. His friend Buttercup over there at Shack's. Yeah, love it. Race 4, the 5 and the 6, a little bit risky, and Tycoon Mogul wrap it up. 7-11, El Fuegos Mas Brillante, and a line. I like a line a lot today. $24 for that early value pick 5. Please get involved.
Race number 1, we're both going with horses trying turf for the first time. Tell us a little bit about the number 2, Caledon.
Well, Caledon just kind of sells me when I look at the trainer, first and foremost, Lynn Ashby. Let's throw up a stat. This is a good one that, Dan, you've provided for us, and I kind of looked again this morning. Yep, this is spot on.
First time turf, 5 for the last 12, almost a $5 return on investment. Ashby certainly does this with Caledon, who's a half to 1 turf winner. There's a little bit of turf pedigree here, but certainly a lot of sprint pedigree.
Yeah, and didn't Lynn Ashby train Dalinar, half sib Dalinar, 79 allowance winner, sprinting. That's my biggest concern for this one, but I look at the race from a flow standpoint. Furious George, you think is going to go to the front. I do as well, but I do think Caledon might be able to just get that tracking position. The other horses, I know Longworth is definitely a deeper closer. We'll get to the video spotlight. Blind Eye might be able to lay a little bit closer, but I'm hoping Caledon can kind of get command upper stretch and hold sway late. Talk to me a little bit about Furious George.
With the rails down on the all-along turf course, I am with the Furious George, the number 4, is my top selection in this race. Should show speed on the all along with the it rails down. And again, this horse has some pedigree. Half sister, stakes place turf miler, Colonel White, second dam, grade 3 winning turf router.
Okay, yeah, and looking at a video spotlight, we've got Longworth on the page along with Blind Eye. We're going to go back to last summer to a race over this turf course where both horses didn't have the easiest of trips. Longworth out of the gate, a little bit of a shuffle out of there, and he's had some eventful trips, no doubt. He's had 19 tries to break the maiden. We're going to see a little bit of shuffling early. Even Blind Eye, when we get to the head of the lane, there you go with that shuffle. Thanks, guys, on the 10 that day. And we get to the lane, Blind Eye is also going to encounter some trouble. Inside, you see the short comment, weighted upper stretch. We're going to get to that. But these two, Dan, combined, what are they, 0 for 43 or 0 for, if I'm doing my math, 0 for 41. Can they get it done today?
Well, I don't trust them at relatively short prices in here. Blind Eye is very, very solid on paper, but always seems to find one or two better. That's why we're going with the horses that have not raced on turf, hoping for a little bit more value. We're going to take a quick little break, and we'll be back in a minute on Today at the Races.
To the city of Baltimore, to all the fans watching around the world, riders up!
They're off in the Preakness.
All eyes of the world will be on Baltimore.
They're head and head. Seabiscuit leads by a length. Seabiscuit is the winner.
And it was a powerhouse race again by the big, strong Secretariat.
Sunday Silence takes the lead at the quarter pole. American Pharaoh, phenomenal in the Preakness. And the filly did it!
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No real reaction, he says.
Here is Smarty Jones. He wins the Preakness by a dozen lengths. Sees the brave, wins the Preakness.
More high school, collegiate, and professional athletes train and recover with. That team is MedStar Sports Medicine. For more than 30 years, MedStar has served as a leader in the diagnosis, treatment, and rehabilitation of orthopedic and sports-related injuries. Ranked among the top programs in the Maryland and Washington regions, we offer rapid access to athletes of all levels. Let the pros who treat the pros treat you. MedStar Sports.
At the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance, we believe in giving every thoroughbred a second chance.
And thanks to you, the owners, trainers, breeders, and every supporter, you've created a ripple effect of change that's helping these magnificent animals move on to new careers and safe, fulfilling lives after racing.
Every single donation, whether big or small, is contributing to a brighter future.
But this race is just beginning. Because of you, we have gained incredible momentum, and we're ready for more.
Welcome back to Today at the Races. Furious George in the opener for me, hoping for a little bit of speed. You're going with Paladin in race number 1, trying turf for the first time. Can you hear me now? We'll move on to race number 2.
Okay.
Race number 2 is at 5.5 furlongs. It's an optional allowance. Claiming event, $49,000 is the purse. Field of 7 in here. First leg of the 50-cent pick 4. Lots of big prices recently in the pick 4s.
Oh, pick 4s have been a great wager here. The pick 5s, as we said, the pools are picking up each and every racing day. So please get involved. If you knocked out early in that pick 5, jump right back in with the pick 4. We got pick 3 opportunities. Race 2, optional allowance for the 3-year-olds going 5.5. The full field of 7. Double Arrow will go video spotlight, and we're going to hope that Double Arrow, the one for Robbie Bales, can kind of get back to this type of performance.
Sure looked good winning this race. I mean, what an impressive performance by Double Arrow, who really took a nice step forward when entered for the 62.5, was immediately taken off the rail, battled with a horse that tired to finish third, cleared off to make the lead, and kept on rolling.
Oh, this was a really, really big performance. And down at Colonial, I think that trip, the start was everything.
Agreed.
You see the short comment jostled at the break. It was a track that was very difficult to make up a lot of lengths. It just didn't seem comfortable. I think she's back to the friendlier confines of Laurel Park. She's going to have a target. She's shown the ability to rate just off of it. I think Lift the Lid, Paula's a Star are going to provide all the speed up front. Double Arrow doesn't have to be too far back, but I think she's going to just need a really good rating ride by Torrealba and just make that pounce move. Say 5/16 to the upper stretch.
But she's going to have him nailed on tight, but she's going to catch Paul as a Star. Paul as a Star has speed, and Paul as a Star obviously has ability coming down from New York for Tom Morley. This horse ran very well to be third of the Jimmy Wingfield against the boys. Looked good scoring on the engine 2 starts back. Just simply might be the horse to catch and beat. Has the big figure advantage.
Absolutely, and got involved in that pace. Just a little bit of a fade. Like I say, back with the girls. The 2-back try comes up real big. She's faced the right kind, no doubt. I think she's going to take some pressure. I did like the way she took a little bit of a pressure last race, and even the maiden breaking score 2 races back, and then she kind of moved away in hand around the turn. She's got plenty of early foot. You might even see Madison Oliver try to throttle that speed a little bit if Lift the Lid gets anxious early, because she had a trouble trip as well last time. Broke bad, thrust up into that pace. Just a little bit of fade. I think her last race is a little bit better than what it is on paper. But I think the road's going to go through Paul as a Star. Let's hope Double Arrow can just make it from just off the
I think
pace.
Double Arrow, if he breaks sharply, can sit right there off the pace and maybe pounce on the favorite. We're both going 1-5. 1-5-3-6 for Keith, 1-5-7-2 for me in the second at Laurel Park on Friday. Moving on to race number 3, mile and a 16th on the turf. Claiming event 40 down to 32. Non-winners of 2 Life the Condition. Take out the 1A Lady Ensign. We'll see her tomorrow. The 2 Chased by the Moon, Luminous Secret the 7, Qualified Higher the 10. They are all scratched. Let's start off our analysis, or before we do that, actually, let's start off our analysis. Princess Buttercup.
Yeah, Princess Buttercup. Yeah, let's go to take a look at the video spotlight of her last race. This was a maiden score, 25, shorter field. But, it was like a little bit of a light bulb to me. Actually, the company, the drop, picked her head up. But she made a pretty long, fairly good sustained run, starting down the backstretch, maybe at the 5/8 pole, and is just going to dominate this field by 9 and change. You see this drawing off under a steady hand ride under Marin, but right back, confidence is high. You're going to have a horse that's going to be, I think, going to get some play in Southampton Dock that is 1 for 22. Kind of sticks out over a Beyer speed figure standpoint if you look at her 4 races last year over the grass, but Princess Buttercup, maybe a little bit of a now horse, but this race gave me some trouble.
Minari's where I'm going to go, the number 3 inside for Kerry Bryan and J-Rod. I think this horse will benefit from the first race of the year down at Gulfstream. Kind of got bumped a little bit at the start, steadied on the first turn, and then after that just was wired by the favorite in a slow-paced race. Third place finisher came back, earned a 65 Beyer speed figure. I think this horse is tactical enough to work out a good trip while saving ground, and again, I think second off the layoff for a horse that's already won on the Laurel turf course. I think she can improve.
Absolutely. Hidden presence, I think, is a factor here for Graham Motion. You've got the really deadly combination, Ruiz with Motion. They've hit at a great strike rate.
Urban Star, the number 11, goes out for Jerry Robb, Xavier Perez. The source worked out a really nice trip to win at Delaware Park last year. We have a trainer stat for Jerry Robb. Second after layoffs between 120 and 180 days, 33%, almost a $3 ROI. I like this horse's tactical speed. I think despite this outside post, Urban Star can get close to a moderate pace and work out a nice trip.
Okay, and Southampton Dock,
Oh,
1 for 22. Hard to really leave out of the exactus tries in Super. Really kind of tough to trust from as a win candidate, but those numbers do kind of stick out. Yeah, I think you've got to kind of take a strong look at her. Put her maybe underneath, run some triples, exactus underneath, but maybe today she gets through this 2 in Life Condition.
And certainly, gets the class relief. This is probably the cheapest this horse has been in against, but you're mentioning a horse that's found one better a lot of times, and maybe at a short price we could try to beat him. 9, 6, 3, and 8. Keith's going with Graham Motion. Turf season's back. Graham's back. I'm going 3, 6, 11, and 8 in race number 3. Race number 4 is coming up. 6 furlong event. This is a claimer. 20 down to 16 for 3-year-olds. Scratch the 2. Fly Pelican. This is the first leg of our middle pick 4 wager. 50-cent pick 4. We have early, middle, late.
Yeah, this is a race that has plenty of speed. You've got a little bit risky. You've got Ellinger, Sir Mick, Buoyant. I think the flow is going to be hot. I think this race falls right into the lap of Tycoon Mogul for Ness. Ness going great guns. This is a horse that kind of drafted back. You could say a slight shuffle in its most recent performance over this Laurel Park surface. Got back to a fast track, swung out. I thought finished up quite well behind Artillery Runner. I just like the setup for Tycoon Mogul.
Zero Blitz is very interesting for me. This horse was really hustled out of the gate in the debut, going 2 turns at Charlestown. Just didn't seem to have that speed, but the light bulb came on second time out against Bottom Maidens here. Showed good early speed, battled hard outside a long shot, and then just opened up at will. I'm hoping this horse has a little bit of a rating gear because you mentioned the other speeds, and I'm not sure he's as fast as some of the others, but I know this horse has upside.
Yeah, he chased against the grain in debut at Charlestown as well. That was attractive speed, just kept going and going, but he was much more alert last time into the race. I do think he's going to have to rate a little bit. I don't see him nearly being as fast early as some of these others.
We have a video spotlight on Little Bit Risky, a 2-time winner, and this horse just, for a speed horse to get off like this, it's not going to work.
No, you see the comment off slow, and then the next part is what really kind of catches your eye. When you're used into a flow of 22 and 3 after a slower beginning.
Dueling with the odds-on favorite.
Yeah. That's going to speak. Nothing good is going to come of that. And eventually, a little bit risky is going to fade through the final furlong. All in all, I thought, it was a pretty good performance despite the early adversity. A little bit risky, drops down in class. We know Kieran McGee with this kind of move is very, very strong. Will he come back to that 77 buyer figure that we saw 2 races back, which just would clearly take care of this field? I'm not so sure, but I think the alert break is a must with Toriaba. And I think he can sit just off of it as needed against this class.
If he runs the 77 buyer, it's simply good night Irene for this field because a little bit risky. That 77 is going to be tough. He is getting tired, but had every reason to. This is a Kieran move. Dropping at least 50% in claiming price. 8 for the last 18, 44%. They get bet, they win. Little bit risky is going to be part of that race flow. I really want to quickly talk about the number 3 Freedom Stance, who I think has a closing chance in here for Ricky Silliman. First time Lasix. This horse last time out was in against Bangkok Bob, who was a hot horse. I just think it's going to get a lot more flow than last time when they stepped the half in 47.
Yeah, that was pedestrian-like today. It will be much, much quicker for that long shot. Yeah, double digits here on the morning line for Freedom Stance. Ellinger, what do you make of this move?
First time gelding, big drop in class, first time Lasix, first time blinkers. Really can't get any more changes than this on Ellinger, who was a good-looking debut winner last summer. Listen, it's Brittany off the claim, but the big drop is a question mark.
That is definitely a scary point for me. Yeah, that's it. I'm 6'5", 4'8". Dan,
6'5", 4'8", 4'6", 5'3". We move on to race number 5. Race number 5 is going a 1-turn mile. Actually, a 2-turn mile on the turf. Maiden 16 down to 12.5. Maryland Bred's eligible for the 20. Scratch the MTO, the 4 Hallelujah Harris, the AE, the number 12 Amazing Bernie. This is the first leg of our 20-cent Chesapeake Jackpot Pick 6 wager. Carryover, creeping up, $5,341. Pick all 6 races. If you're the only one, you make the whole bank.
I like that. I'd like about 6,000-7,000 to get me through tomorrow's card because I might just need it. Quality cards here at Laurel Park moving forward. Please get involved. Align is the horse I'm going to move to here, Dennis. Maiden 16. Drawing outside, yes. But I just think looking at this race, there's just not a lot of quality flow. I think Align from that outer post has the positional speed, can get into position, doesn't necessarily need to lead, has some build up on the main track going longer. The lone turf start, to me, was okay. It was sans Lasix, a 48 buyer at 2, projecting some improvement, say a mid-50 to higher 50 number here. I think it works.
Even though this horse has hit the board on dirt in his last 4 starts, I could argue he travels better on the turf. Just watching that race, he seemed a lot more comfortable that day. He did earn his career best buyer. I think this is his surface. I'm interested to see what sort of trip he pulls from out there. El Fuego Mas Brillante is going to be my top selection. We do have a trainer stat for Mark Schumann. 3rd after the 120 to 180 day layoff for El Fuego Mas Brillante, and I probably meant 1st. 4 for the last 10, 40%, $5.12. That's a typo on my part. 1st after 120 to 180 day layoff. But El Fuego Mas Brillante is a horse that has run well here in the past. I think is a little bit more tactical than he's shown. The last race is just a throw out when he dumped the rider at the start. And the time before that at Presque Isle Downs, I actually thought that was a pretty decent effort on the synth.
Yeah, and for those of you that may not be familiar with Georgie Ruiz, one of the better turf riders in the country. So pay attention to anything he hops on. And one of the stats we use on our website is jockey choices, where they go. So if you see him with a couple, choices on the overnight, follow to where he ends up on, because he's usually going to make the right decision.
Magic Path is the number 3. This horse has only raced once on the flat on the turf. Didn't think the horse had the most comfortable trip at Colonial last year. Kind of the pace was slowing down. They rushed this horse to push in between them. The next thing you know, it quickened back up. He had to steady down towards the inside, cut the corner. Had to do a lot. His most recent race on dirt shows that maybe he's rounding back into form.
Another horse, only try there. That was Sans Lasix, and that was a good race. A couple of horses came out of there and ran okay. One of them recently a 68 buyer at Gulfstream Park.
Hoping not to crap out in this race. 11-7-3-6 for Keith, 7-11-3-8 for me in race number 5. We move on to race number 6 on this 10-race card. Race number 6, we're going 3/4 of a mile. This is a maiden claiming event. Jockey change on the 6, Teddy's Lucky Girl. Andres Chavez is aboard. Nice to hear that Farr's voice is doing better. No broken bones after that terrible incident last week.
Yeah, I mean, that was really, really scary. And for her to escape like she did, tremendous. We love Forrest here. Can't wait for her to get back. One of my favorite riders year in and year out over this Maryland circuit.
First leg of the late 12% takeout value pick 5 wager. Our colleague Mackenzie Pfeiffer has a ticket.
Yeah, Mackenzie, $54. Somebody got paid. Okay, 3-7-10 to get you going. Valerie Street, Danny's Rhythm, a horse I really like today for Robbie Bales, and Slip Through. 2 deep in race 7 and 8. 10 and 12 in the 7th. That's the Joe Sharp horse, right? Got to Brazil for BTR. Race 8. Gonna key in on Strancino. The other part of the entry, Just Call Ray, has been scratched. Strancino and a Legal Deal in race number 8. Race 9, Mackenzie likes the 2, 3, and 5. Yeah, Point Doom, we'll talk about that one a little bit, getting to the turf for Ness. And wrapping things up, race 10 with the 1, the 3, and the 9 for a $54 ticket. Folks, you have to kind of invest a little bit. You just need one, and they will carry you for a long, long time. We're talking about these pick 5s because you're going to see some monster payouts here.
Tell me about your top pick in here, the number 7, Danny's Rhythm, 8-1, first-time Lasix for a Robbie Bales barn that's going real good.
Yeah, I really like this horse, protected with the waiver today. Video spotlight horse as well. We're going to go back a little ways and watch this one. This race here, up into that flow at 7/8 of a mile. I like the way she was traveling into the turn and past the 3/8, 22 and 2, 46 and 3, relaxed. Tries to make that move into the speed of Silver Trinket. Just kind of starts spinning her wheels, but a little bit of a fade. Yeah, the buyer number just doesn't reach out and grab you, but I think Robbie's going to be okay. Have this one ready to go, first time Lasix, and looky here, Yetz at Hazelwood.
It's at Hazelwood, who has been hot, young apprentice rider. Danny's Rhythm just faced a good field, too. The winner of this race came back and did some good things against stakes competition. I won't be surprised at all if Danny's Rhythm returns a much more mature individual for the 3-year-old debut. Valerie Street is in here. This horse showed some ability in the career debut at Colonial because this horse was not ready for the start at all, fell far behind, but came with a really good run to get up for 3rd. Lost River finished 4th in that race. That horse came back to win here for 30 with a 51 buyer. We have a trainer stat, Rudy Sanchez Solomon.
Yeah, here we go. A second out, maidens on the dirt, 6 for the last 22. That's a 27% strike rate. Look at that ROI, 464, and you talked about that. Not ready to get the break at Colonial, but able to make up 6 lengths from the head of the lane home. That was difficult to do at Colonial. that stat speaks volumes. Yes, looks like a user in here.
Head on over to Maryland Racing YouTube channel and watch Ready for Magic's most recent start on March the 7th in against Cross of Valor. Cross of Valor is a giant. Ready for Magic, let's just say, is not a giant. And Ready for Magic broke well, was down inside, in behind pace setter Cross of Valor, and was just over and behind that Hulk all the way through the stretch. Didn't think she really had optimum clearance until late. I thought ran on with a sneaky little bid. I'd like to see Ready for Magic break well here, get to the outside and make one run.
Yeah, not be so intimidated possibly against this field, and still held okay that last eighth of a mile.
As for Cross of Valor, this horse has good early speed. Is Cross of Valor going to have to deal with the rail-drawn Rehoboth Avenue adding blinkers?
I think that one is definitely going to go, and I think you're going to have to deal with Danny's rhythm. I mean, showing the speed into those internals last time out, she was relaxed. That's pretty sharp going 7/8 of a mile for the fillies. She's going to have to be tied on. I think she's going to go up into it. The two-back try held well against the grain.
New York-based Morley Barn has the favorite in race number 2. They have a very interesting first-time starter breaking from the far outside. The number 10 slipped through. This is a half-sister to Trinaberg, who was a debut winner, but more importantly, won the Breeders' Cup Sprint. This one's by Bernardini.
Yeah, and look at that record. 6 starters for this mare. 2 winners right out of the box. 1 second, 2 thirds. Pay attention when you see that precociousness.
Really nice race, race number 6, the 45-36 waiver event. Maiden claimer to kick off our 50-cent late value pick 5. Race number 7, 5.5 furlongs on the turf, first level allowance. These are fillies and mares going to the second wire on our turf course. Take out the MTOs, the 5 and the 6 and the 15. Take out the AE, the 16. Something wonderful. This is the first leg of our late pick 4. Again, we have early, we have middle, we have late. I like the storytelling.
Yeah, they tell you this is a really, really good first level allowance. I end up on the 10 Parola Sakura. I don't know what kind of price we're going to get. I do think with the connections, she definitely could be the favorite when it's all said and done. I don't know if I want to take any less than 5-2 on her. I'm going to kind of work with her and a couple of these other ones at a better price and exactas top and bottom. You have to spread in these bigger turf races here at Laurel Park. But let's go to the video spotlight of this horse's try at Laurel Park.
This was a really good performance. This is the Stormy Blues Stakes, and the winner of this race, Tupi's gone on to be a legitimate graded stakes sprinter for Graham Motion. Parola Secura came in here, worked out, I thought for the most part, a pretty good pace tracking, ground saving trip. This horse runs really, really well to get up for second behind Tupi. They ran her in a tough spot at Saratoga after that. Then she's washed off. Then she runs on synth. She's a little bit dirtied up. Yes, you have to deal with a layoff here. I trust Joe Sharp off these kind of layoffs.
Absolutely. This one is going to be tactical against this group. This flow is a little tricky for me when I kind of look at it. Mischief Maxi, I think, is gonna go. I think the 14, no question about it, brought a lot of speed last time out and did it well within herself at Colonial. See if this transitions to the turf. There is turf within that family for the Trombetta runner. So I think it's going to have to be a really well-timed ride on, I think, which could be the favorite, Parola Secura coming in here for Sharp.
I'm going with your second pick, the number 1, Funny Lady, third off the layoff for Michael Stidham coming up from the fairgrounds. We've got a trainer stat for Stidham. Third after 61 to 120 day layoffs, 21% to positive return on investment. This horse was a pace pressing winner of the seasonal debut. Last time out, this horse broke in a little bit, kind of bumped with a foe, was working out a 3-wide tracking trip, and just didn't finish with the kind of fire I was hoping for. Barbosa had his choice here of this one in 5,2, lands on Funny Lady. I think this horse might work out a pocket trip.
Yeah, I like that. One of my favorite angles. I always outside to inside. The last two, given those outer posts at the fairgrounds. Third off a little bit of a break. Barbosa, as we talked about, he's going to start heating up. Pay attention to this rider. He's got talent. So, Funny Lady, you're right. Inside-out trip from just off the pace.
Funny Lady finished ahead, I believe, of Gata Brazil, the number 12 last time out, but Gata Brazil had an excuse. It was her first start since August, and we've got a trainer stat for Brittany Russell. Second time Lasix, second after a layoff between 6 months and a year. You combine them, 33%, 271 ROI. I think we see the real Gata Brazil, the one that looks so good winning here 2 starts back.
Really, really sharp 2 races back. Short comment, ridden out, something to reserve. Yeah, coming back to Laurel Laurel Park a player in here. I'm going to talk about another price horse into the mix, the 13.5, 2. I do think this flow, it's going to be very, very quick. But again, I talk about this on these turf races down to the second wire. You got to kind of get in Poe by the 8th pole. If you're more than 2 or 3 out of it, you don't see a lot of horses close 6, 7 lengths in that last 8. I know we're going to the second wire, but I think this horse plays, freshened up off the routes. It made some bigger middle moves in some of those route turf races. I think is a player at a good number. And even the 4, Lily Simone, she's kind of made me some money catching some tries in exactas with this one. Back for a barn that had a winner the other day. Look for her. Those are the horses I think you can work around in your exacta tries and supers a little bit, maybe underneath.
Especially if you believe the pace is fast. I think Lily Simone's going to come with a kick despite the layoff. 10-1-4-13 for Keith. 1-4-12-8 for me. Race number 7. We move on to race number 8, 1-turn mile, one of our features on the day. 3 and up. Second level allowance. $40,000 claiming option. This is a really intriguing field. Take out one half of the entry, the number 1, Just Call Ray. And we'll start with the remaining half of the entry, the number 1, Stroncino.
Stroncino. Looks like the one that maybe, if there's anybody in here that's going to give you that next move up, the upside horse, Stroncino. This was a dominant performance last time out over the first level allowance company, beating Derbiness, who came back to win in New York. I like the style of this one. This 1-turn mile will be a little bit closer to the flow in here. Maybe a horse like Freeze the Fire, Goodbye Note Fresh, going to go out there. I think Stroncino can get within position and get the jump on Be Better, who could bring a strong leg kick, but has been seen since the Pimlico Special.
Trainer stat for Jamie Ness on Stroncino. Between March 28th and April 15th, the barn sends out volume. They're winning, and you're making money if you bet all those 82 horses. $2.03 ROI, almost 30%. You're right. Stroncino is the upside horse. The key to the race, though, is whether Be Better can run anymore, and that's really the question of the race, because if Be Better can run still, then I think he's just the best horse. He needs a bit of a setup, and maybe he wants to go a little bit more than a mile. But this horse has been away, as you mentioned, since the Pimlico Special, and not only returns as a gelding, but is being dangled for 40. That's what worries me. But again, I just trust Brittany in these situations. We do have a video spotlight of one of Be Better's better performances.
Okay, we're going to go back a little ways. We're going to go back to March 17th of 24. In tight a little bit at the break. Right off the bat here, you're going to see this horse, the 4 horse, get squeezed out of there, giving up a couple lengths, maybe 3, 4 out of it. In the first, 50, 60 yards. Now, his style, he doesn't have a real turn of foot. And Dan, as you said, is he going to be pace dependent today? Yes, probably so. But he's able to, when he kind of ramps it up, kind of get out of his way. He's going to work here, work his trip out to about the 5-6 path, and really sustains nicely, collars the leader to win going away against a better group, all in all.
I'm really not worried about a slow break for Be Better, because he has no speed anyway. He got the right setup in that race. I am concerned about the race flow in here. But here's Brittany, first after a 6-month to a year layoff, adding Lasix, 6 for the last 14, 258 ROI. Again, demand a little bit of value on Be Better. I'd hate to have him knock me out of any kind of multiple race wagers, but there are question marks. Legal Deal looks like a really interesting horse coming into this race. Won both starts over a 1-turn mile since being taken by this outfit, and he's another horse, though, that just doesn't have a lot of speed.
No, he doesn't. I don't think he's going to be terribly far back against this group, maybe heading to the top of the lane. He's going to have to get position to kick, but he likes proven. He likes the 1-turn mile. Beats a next out winner. This is a horse Mackenzie Pfeiffer has used in her value pick 5.
I'm really worried about Goodnight Note potentially wiring this field at a big price. This horse has been away. He's going to be fresh, and he has shown speed. And in the past, he has shown the ability to get to the front and keep going.
Yeah, my biggest concern, that bigger number came on a muddy, sealed surface. Was that a little bit of an off-track aberration? But you're right, fresh and ready to roll in a field that he could shake clear of.
Late daily double coming up. 1A, 5-3-6 for Keith. 5-3, 1A, 6. What Be Better do we get in the 8th?
All right.
Race number 9, mile and a 16th on the turf. Second level allowance, claiming option 40,000 down to 32. Take out the 8 Regal Kingdom, the 2 Cyber Ninja. Make the rider JG Torre Alba. Another wide open, good betting race. You like the 5, F35 for the Russells, and we have a video spotlight.
Yeah, recency, I think, might be the key. And I'd give these horses coming back to the turf course, even the routes. I'm not terribly concerned. You've heard me say this year in and year out. But this horse made a step and made a big step last time out numbers-wise at the fairgrounds. Is going to work outside out to about the 6th path for this final 1/8 of a mile against a decent enough group. Going to close in a couple little switches of the lead. But I think all in all, this horse is poised to, I think, hold form against this group. And just that recent races and the good form that he's bringing in gives him a little bit of an edge, not a huge edge to me.
He's a certain strong contender in this race. Yeah. I have to admit, I've never really been a big fan of F35, and if he's going to go off as the favorite in here, I might try to beat him, but the question is with who? I landed on Worthington, and talk about layoffs. We haven't seen Worthington in 509 days, but when he was right, he was in against some really good horses. He earned a stakes placing at Gulfstream, he earned a stakes placing at Canterbury Park, and I don't think he was embarrassed 2 starts back on turf in the Grade 3 Bryan Station. We'll see if Kerry Bryan is giving this horse one off of the layoff, but he should offer a little bit of a price. If you like speed, you like Point Doom, but does Point Doom like turf?
That's the $1 million question. I'm going to have to trust in Ness here. It's not like it's a staggering stat first turf. But this guy, when he's good, he can get to the front, he can relax a little bit and take a little heat. I'm just throwing him into the mix in a race pretty much devoid of any true speed.
Hugh McMahon claims Hey Chief, immediately puts this horse back on the turf, but this is another horse, doesn't have a lot of early gas.
Not at all. Hey Chief is going to have to work out a ground-saving trip for a long ways, maybe swing out and bring that run, but could be pace-dependent. I think is going to be pace-dependent today, but this horse, he's run some big races. What do you do with the 2 Cyber Ninja coming here, later reported first-time gelding?
First-time gelding, and Cyber Ninja on the form is coming off a layoff. But this horse ran at Old Dominion going 2 1/4 miles over the fences, as Jack Fisher is wont to do with those. That was on April the 5th, so this horse is coming back actually on 13 days after running over fences going 2 1/4 miles as a first-time gelding. And this horse has numbers and some back races that make him interesting. I'm really interested in maybe even moving him up on my picks.
Okay, 9-5-6-2 for you. I'm going to go 5-3-1-4 in a race. It's real tricky to me. Point Doom is just kind of the real question mark horse for me in race 9.
Let's close things out on this fine 10-race card at Laurel Park. 3/4 of a mile, 7,500 down to 6,000. Beaten Claimer. Take out the 5 Mischievous Juan. The number 1 Irish Hero looks like the speed. Irish Hero is your favorite. We're going to talk about Lieutenant Brown, the number 3. We have a trainer stat for Anthony Farrier. Owner-trainer combo. First after the claim, 35%, $2.29 return on investment. I think Lieutenant Brown just fits this race. Didn't break great last time out, wound up in the pocket, made a 3-wide bid, flattened out, was in against the Wolfman that day, who was in very good form. This time around, Lieutenant Brown with a good break, I think sits just off Irish Hero, and I have worries about Irish Hero getting 6.
That's the key, Is he going to get the 6 Irish Hero? He will be the target in here. I don't see anybody as quick as him through that first quarter, 3/8 of a mile. Lieutenant Dan, I'm thinking of the movie now. Lieutenant Brown has that ability, I think, maybe to get the jump on some of these closures. I go outside. Big Daddy's Boy, Ferris Allen, Yetsit Hazelwood. That's kind of the key to me, a little bit of sell to a hot rider. I'll toss a last going a mile and a 16th. But those other 3 races, 3 seconds in a row, sprinting, they work for me. This horse has had some interesting trips, to say the least, but I think he's got a little bit more positional speed than what he showed last time as well. So Big Daddy's Boy maybe at a little bit of a price at 8-1 morning line.
So you like the drop downs. Big Daddy's Boy, you've got Coffee with Chris, horses with back form that are dropping in class, and at least in the case of Coffee with Chris, we know in the past he can get close to the pace, but he's dropping in distance as well.
Yeah, he had a tough trip last time. That early part was not good soon after the start, but did make a credible move, wide move around the turn before fading, but he's okay sprinting.
I love that we're all over the place in this race, which means that the 2 Veselski can't lose. 9-8-4-3 for Keith, 3-1-7-6 for me in the finale at Laurel Park. Best play time. Keith, where are you going?
Real quick value play. Going to get you started. Well, not anymore. 6-1. I guess I got to make it best play from value play down to 8-5 opening up. It's Caledon first turf. We saw the stat earlier. It speaks huge volumes. Profitable move. Distance is my biggest concern. I think he can get the jump on the closers. Can he get to the wire first?
Let's bookend the card because my play's in race number 10. It's Lieutenant Brown off the claim for that potent owner-trainer combination. I just think a good trip is coming sitting off Irish Hero. If Irish Hero is overbet, I think Lieutenant Brown can maybe gobble him up in the stretch. Tomorrow, a huge day. Preakness preview day. 5 stakes races. Our first 3 turf stakes races of 2020. 2025. 2 Win and Your Ins, one for the Preakness, which is the Federico Tessio, one for the Black-Eyed Susan, which is the Weber City Miss, and the Preakness Preview Day Handicapping Challenge.
That's what we're looking forward to, and we're going to have a special guest. I will be hosting, it looks like, and joined by Stanley Bavish. He's won one of those national handicapping contests before, right?
NHC Hall of Famer Stanley Bavish, a noted tournament player. He'll be giving his insights, and also family fun day. Lots of games for the kiddies, lots of games for the adults, because you got 120 horses, 12 race card. Great betting action tomorrow. Great betting action today. 19 minutes to post, and Dave Rodman is ready for scratches and changes.
All right, good luck, everybody.